What's up, everybody? We are back beyond the gates. I am so freaking happy that the show is back because going a whole week without new episodes is crazy. Like that shit drove me crazy. I'm like, come on now, because this show is just red hot. And we picked up where we left off. Let me tell you something, Allison. I'm like, go your ass somewhere, please, because I am so glad Chelsea told her, listen, I'm with somebody now. I'm happy. I can't mess with you. Like what we had, that's done. You need to go back home, figure stuff out with your husband. And I feel like Allison, little delusional ass, didn't get the message. Like she clearly didn't get the hint. Like she thinks that Chelsea telling her to go back and fix things with her husband is her way of saying, oh, you need to cut shit off with your husband, then come back to me. That's not what she meant, boo. That's not what she meant. She meant go home and work things out in your marriage. Like fix your marriage. Like that's what she meant. Allison took that shit as, oh, well, I'll dump Craig if you take me back. I'll go home, get rid of Craig, and we could be together then. That's not what that meant, sweetie. But that's how she took it. I'm like, okay. She's not going away. Like, she's really not. Because she was questioning Chelsea about how she could be, so serious about Madison so fast. That's the $1 billion question, because I think we all felt that way. But that's my thing. I'm like, she did the same thing with Allison. Like, she just kept talking about her breakup with Allison until she met Madison. Even when she met Madison, she was still talking about her breakup with Allison. I'm like, you and Allison were never a couple, but okay. But Chelsea handled that well. She was like, at the end of the day, you deserve better than to be a side piece, and I deserve better than to be a side piece too. I agree. You know what I'm saying? Like, people minds change. At the end of the day, it was cool in that moment to be a side piece, but people grow up, they change, they want different things, they want more commitment, and you have the right to, change your mind on that. And Chelsea had every right to change her mind, but Allison is going to be a problem, like a major problem. So anyway, moving on from that. So apparently somebody done assaulted June, the little unhoused lady. Somebody assaulted her. I shouldn't even be laughing at that. The damn, like, this lady just can't catch a break. I want to know more about her story, because I she's an interesting person though. Even when she was unconscious laying there, she was still clutching that damn photo of them kids, and Naomi took notice of it, and she got a better look at that photo, and apparently there was a phone number at the bottom of the photo. She called the phone number, and as soon as she mentioned June's name, that person hung that phone up. I said, oh, I wonder what that's about. Who was that person on the other end, that know about June? I'm like, yeah, Jacob need to get down to the hospital and question this. Like, we need to find out who that number belonged to. That's what we need to do. But yeah, June is a very interesting person. Like, I really need more backstory in her, because I like this character. And you can tell Naomi is very invested in this. She's very invested in finding out more about June as well. It's just something interesting about it to me. But I definitely feel like it could lead to back to Tyrell and Samantha. I feel like it's going to lead to them somehow. You know what I mean? A boy and a girl in that photo. Yeah, something ain't right. Like, gotta be her kids or something, or some relation of some sort. But anyway, moving on from that, Smitty is getting down to the bottom of some shit. Like, Smitty not letting nothing go. So his editor called him and basically told him, like, we're shutting down the Malone story. Smitty was pissed. Smitty said no. He said, I got good information. I got good sources, good information from my sources. Like, we are digging up a lot of dirt on this dude. Why would you want to kill the story now? Something tell me that Bill, the coalition, the alliance of Bill, Vernon, one of them from the alliance got to that editor and told him to kill that story. That's why he doing it. Because why else would an editor kill a red hot story about a corrupt cop? That's going to make headlines. Ain't no way, unless you were threatened or paid off. So they got to him. So that was the bad news. Smitty got some good news, though. One of his sources called and basically let him know that Vernon has a connection to Detective Malone, because apparently Vernon spoke on behalf of Malone at his trial or his hearing or whatever with Internal Affairs. And I love how when he mentioned Vernon's name when Martin walked through that door, Smitty was smart as fuck the way he covered it up. Smitty was like, oh, no, my editor, after I'm done with the Malone piece, he wanted me to do a profile on Vernon. That was smart. I said, there you go. That's how you cover some shit up. Now, that's smart, boy. Smitty, I'm telling you, Smitty is a gold mine, man. That dude is a crafty-ass reporter. He remind me of a male version of Gale Weathers from the Scream franchise. Less abrasive, less annoying. You know what I'm saying? But he gets the job done. Like, he be smack dab up in your face. Like, he gonna get results. And of course, here go Elon, Daddy Hawthorne, basically trying to back Jacob off from this investigation and from, not from this investigation, but from talking to Smitty. He was like, yeah, you should stop talking to Smitty because he rubbed Malone the wrong way, being all intrusive, asking intrusive questions. And Jacob was like, well, shit, that's his job. Ain't he supposed to do that? I said, right. That's what reporters do. They ask the tough questions that people typically don't want to answer, but they have to ask. That's good journalism. What are you talking about? They have to ask. So he was just like, yeah, you don't need to talk to him no more, whatever. So Elon was on the phone and stuff like that, talking about pesky reporters and stuff. And that's when Smitty came in. Smitty is not letting this go. He is like a dog with a bone. He smelled blood in the water. He like a shark. He smell it. And he knows something ain't right. So he started asking Elon about Vernon and why Vernon spoke at the hearing for Detective Malone. So he was like, all right, I'll talk to you off the record. So he fed him some bullshit or whatever, like how, Detective Malone had a IAB, investigation on him or whatever. And Vernon was, not called to testify. He basically came on his own accord as a good citizen to speak on behalf of Malone, and the charges got dropped. Vernon's not worried about it. When Elon told Vernon about that shit, Vernon was like, yeah, I'm not too concerned about that. He was like, because we basically got this covered. Basically you gonna tell Smitty what you want to tell him. You know what I'm saying? We gonna basically control the narrative. Like, what we tell him is what we want him to know. He not gonna, long as he don't know the connection between Martin and this situation, we good. He was like, we just keep this shit contained. I'm like, Vernon, you are underestimating this man. Like, he really is. He's underestimating the hell out of Smitty, because Smitty is on the money with this. Smitty getting down to the bottom of it. This whole situation is getting juicy, and I'm loving every freaking second of it. It is getting so good. So good. Smitty is on it. I'm nervous for Smitty though, because as a journalist, when you ask those tough kind of questions to people who can be dangerous and who can make some shit happen, you got to be careful though. You got to be careful, because even though Vernon is protecting him because he's family, you got to remember Vernon is working with people who don't care. You know what I'm saying? They follow their own rules, like, because Joey is a hot box. He can go rogue at any minute. Malone could go rogue at any minute. Neither one of them give a damn about Smitty. They don't care that he a Dupree or he a part of, well, not a Dupree, but he's a part of the Dupree Richardson family. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? The only thing keeping them at bay so far is Vernon and Elon and stuff. And because working with them, it brings protection. It benefits them in the moment. But the minute that it don't benefit them, I'm worried about Smitty. You know what I'm saying? Because one of them at any given moment could just say fuck it and go rogue and do something and try to cover it up. Smitty got to be a little bit more careful. You asking a lot of good questions, but about some dangerous shit. You know what I'm saying? Be more careful now. But I love that Smitty don't care. Like, he gonna ask. He gonna be bold. He gonna walk right up to you and ask. Like, I like that. It's just dangerous, but I like it. So anyway, moving on from that. Danny was all up in Vernon business. Like, after they dropped Anita off at the airport, she was asking him what's going on with Martin and stuff like that. And Vernon was trying to downplay it or whatever, saying it's nothing, it's this, that, and the third. Danny wasn't buying it. She know her father lying. Like, and she's gonna get to the bottom of it, because she know he covering something up. Like, it's something you don't want her to know. Luckily for him, Vanessa walked in at the right time and interrupted, because it gave him an excuse to get up and get the hell up out of there. Because if not, you was gonna keep being grilled. So he got the pushing. He got the pushing on and moving on. So Vanessa is there in real estate mode because Pamela and Danny need an office space for their agency. I was a little bit surprised that, Vanessa wanted to tell Danny about Doug and his gambling and, the trouble that he's in. And Danny knew off rip. She was talking about the gambling. She knew. Because remember, Danny and Pamela saw him at the casino, so she put two and two together. It was like, oh, he got a gambling problem. She was like, yeah, he got into a bit of financial trouble, but it's handled or whatever. But she didn't tell her everything that's going on. Like her being involved with Joey and all that type of stuff. She kept it vague or whatever. Basically told Danny what she needed to know, what she felt she needed to know. And then, of course, Martin come up in there tripping. Like, Martin came up in there and yoked the waiter up, like, by the collar, because he thought it was Kenneth. Yoked that man the fuck up, like, had him, like, because he thought it was that damn Kenneth. And Danny and Vanessa was looking at him like, what the fuck is going on with you? Like, Danny is now more concerned than ever that something ain't right with Martin. Like, she knows something ain't right. And I know she gonna dig deep into it now. And I'm like, damn. Vernon think he got this shit contained. I'm like, sir, this is not contained. And Martin is not making it any better. Like, Martin flying off the handle the way he doing, it's not making it better. Like, it's not. So, it's only a matter of time for this secret to come out. Because people are starting to notice and starting to compare notes and talk. So, they need to do better at containing this. So Randy got his gun on Kenneth or whatever. And he was like, basically, this money was deployed to get your ass here. Now we going on the joyride. But the joyride ain't going to be much joy for you. Because little Kenneth, he look like a little John Stamos want to sit here and plead and all that. Randy said, no, get your ass up. Let's go. We going. So he took him and whatnot, came back and told Joey, it's done, it's handled and whatnot. So Doug, of course, walk in just in the nick of time to see them making a little financial exchange and stuff like that, and see a gun and all this, that, and the third. So, of course, Joey got to, finagle and cover that shit up because, Doug, he be all up in people's business. So they went to Uptown and whatnot, and Vanessa just straight up asked Randy if he was scared of Joey. Randy was like, bitch, I'm terrified. He was like, I'm petrified. This is why I always said Joey need to get rid of Randy, because he is a horrible employee. Like, he's too skittish for that kind of lifestyle. Like, he's way too skittish for that. Like, he is not the type of person you employ to do dirt. The fact that he be shaking like a stripper whenever Joey tell him to do something, he's not cut out for that lifestyle. I feel like he's good in a scare tactic kind of way, but actually putting in the work of taking somebody out or beating somebody's ass, he not good for that. He not good for it. He's good at scaring people and making them think he'll do something. But no, he's not somebody I would want on my team. Like, you need somebody that that's cold-blooded. And Randy is far from cold-blooded. He not hardcore. He too scary for me. So, anyway, he was supposed to dump the dude's body. He claiming that, somebody must have seen him or whatever. Horrible. Like, dude, you couldn't find a dirt wooded area or something to put the body? Like, come on now. Where nobody would be? Just suck ass. So, Martin get home, and he see Tyrell sitting there playing chess with some new friend, and come to find out that motherfucker is Kenneth. I said, this got to be a hallucination. It got to be, because he just said checkmate and looked at Martin when he said it. I said, this got to be a trick. It got to be a hallucination, because if that man got out of whatever water ditch that Randy put him in and he made it to Martin's place, Randy is beyond the worst hitman I've ever seen in my life. How is he in that apartment? Because he got a bandage on his cheek or whatever. I'm like, please tell me this man is hallucinating. Please. Because if not, and this dude managed to get away, Randy need to be got. I'm just saying, Randy need to go. Because that is the worst botch I've ever seen. Like, you gonna take a bitch out, take a bitch out. Like, what is you doing? But this was a good ass episode. I enjoyed this episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you all thought. And I will see you all later. Have a good night. Peace.